Okay, we are live on YouTube now, and we should be streaming to the web.
So I'm ready to start calling this to order.
Okay, I was looking for my slides. Hang on here.
Oh, Marty, I've got one that I can.
Oh, do you have one? Okay, great.
Yeah, if you want.
And I won't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll shut off my video and you guys have a great meeting. Paisley, can you text me when you're done? I'm gonna run across the street and sign a bunch of documents. I got a big stack of stuff to sign. So
Yeah.
Okay,
Can do. Thank you for helping us get started, Marty. Appreciate it.
no problem. Have a great meeting. Happy holidays, everybody.
Okay, so we are called to order. If you are public and interested in joining, you can call us at 253-215-8782. If you are on a landline, you can call 888-475-4499. And do I need to read? I don't think I need to read off the webinar ID or passcode, do I?
Oh yeah, you actually do.
And the webinar ID is 869-2489-9859 with passcode 574069. All right, so we are officially called to order and we'll move to the approval of November minutes. Well, hold on, do we have a quorum?
Yeah, we don't have a quorum,
So,
but
well,
I do have a
Kathy,
question.
Danny, Dennis. No, there's 5 of us.
Oh, I'm just not seeing everybody, sorry.
It's me, Kathy, Danny, Dennis, and Joe.
Mhm,
So we have a quorum.
mhm. I have a question. If there was some misinformation, is that something that should be corrected later, or could it be corrected now if there was just some misinformation in the minutes? When's the appropriate?
Well, I think it would be now because we're doing the approval of minutes. So if there's an amendment you want to make to the minutes, we would do that now.
Okay. Well, and again, it was just the information at the end of the meeting about the public art guide and Lillian Nelson. It's on toward the very end, just a comment that there was misinformation in the public art guide, but I had contacted Lillian Nelson, and this is, I can forward this email to everyone, but her email was, yeah, what I had mentioned wasn't actually the public art guide. I was yakking about it on the podcast, so sorry it wasn't clear when I was referring to, but I actually was talking about the public art tour from the Missoula Downtown Association. So it was that was incorrect, not the public art guide. So that was nice to hear that she had not intended that at all. Because, Lillian, I think if there was major issues, she would have contacted us because we're kind of good acquaintances. But anyway, so I think that should be corrected.
So that would be on number 9 of the minutes from November, letter D for the amendment. So in order to make that amendment, would anybody like to make a motion to approve the amendment?
Well, I don't know that you make a motion to approve amendments.
Anyone approve the amendment?
Change.
I'll make
But I do want to point out that one of the things she had mentioned to me, and this was just in passing, was that she couldn't find information about the grizzly bear at the Boone and Crockett Club. And so I gave her that information, and she mentioned that that wasn't in the public art guide, but I did explain to her that the City of Missoula public artworks are always in the public art guide because it's our public art guide, but we rotate other works in the public sector in and out of the guide because of the room that's available in the guide. So, and she understood that. And then
just for
so
clarification,
I just want to make those corrections.
Art committee piece, right? That's what? The grizzly bear is not a public art committee. piece.
No, it's
private
not. No,
land.
it was a piece that was commissioned as a tribute to Teddy Roosevelt, who started the Boone and Crockett Club. And we've had it in the past, but we rotate those other pieces in and out based on room in the guide. So,
Okay.
and she understood that. And so maybe we'll sell more advertising and get more pages.
Awesome. All right, so we'll just
So-
move to, Marty made a good point. So you're just clarifying what was said in the meeting. We're not actually gonna make amendments to the meeting notes. So just for
Well,
that.
but if the meeting notes are incorrect, that's my question. They're wrong.
So,
They're
So I-
not, they're not wrong. That is
Well,
what was
okay, the
said
notes aren't
at the
wrong.
meeting.
Yes,
What was
never
said
mind.
at the
I see what
meeting
you're
was
saying.
incorrect. So it's appropriate to put a clarification in this meeting's minutes about last meeting's minutes
Okay,
based on information you learned after the meeting took place, but the minutes reflect what was actually said during the meeting, correct?
Correct.
Yes, okay.
not everything, yes.
So then it's just an approval of our minutes as they are. And we'll put in the clarification for this month's minutes. So would anybody like to make a motion for approval of the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Anyone second? Danny or Dennis? Or Heidi? Kathy?
Oh, what? Yes.
Anyone want a second? So we
I'll
can
second.
approve.
Oh, I'll second. I don't care.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought somebody already did.
Meeting minutes are approved. I apologize. Let me get back to our agenda. It was on two different pages. So Stony is not with us today. She had a family emergency that she needed to attend to. So I'm not exactly sure where they are with the welcome sign. Is anyone else on that subcommittee know anything about it or would like to give an update?
I don't think anything has been done since our last meeting.
Okay.
So,
So we'll just move on and we'll talk about that next month. Danny, do you want to speak to the Indigenous Mural Project if there's any updates?
Yeah, there's no updates on that yet. I think we were still waiting to hear back from Northwest Energy and their plans to move forward. So yeah, nothing to report.
Okay. The Dash sculpture. So Joe, I don't think you were in our meeting last month. So I'll give you some background on that. So we were approached by this nonprofit organization called Dash. And what they do is they find art patrons who want to give money to artists to put art in different places around the United States. There is an artist named Mike Paisley. You can help me with his last name. It's Lustig.
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 And he's based out of Colorado, and he is going to do a sculpture for us here in Missoula. So it's really exciting. Danny and I met with Mike and the dashboard last week, and then Mike had a meeting with Kathy and Dennis this week, or was it last week as well, to talk about the sculpture. So Danny and I can talk about that meeting, and then maybe Kathy and Dennis can talk about what they spoke with Mike. Basically, we just kind of gave Mike a feel for what Missoula was and what we were maybe thinking of. And he's hopefully planning to come here and experience the Missoula culture. Danny, did you want to add anything? No? Okay. Some of his concerns were he uses a lot of glass and metal, and he was concerned about the Montana weather and how that would how it would affect his sculpture. So I put him in touch with Kathy and Dennis because they have a lot of knowledge on that. And so I don't know if you guys want to tell us about your meeting with him.
Sure. Yeah, he kind of, he picked out Missoula as a place where he would like to do his next sculpture. And he's working on a couple installations around the country until possibly next spring. I think he had a couple different installations, and he would like to come to Missoula, and he has kind of an idea that he had for the sculpture, and he wants to come to Missoula, probably would be more like in the spring by the time he's ready to come. and look around, see the environment, and find locations where his vision of his sculpture and what he had in mind would be, and then we could meet him. And if we liked it, then we could vote to either approve this thing happening or not. But he did pick out Missoula, so that was interesting.
Can you talk about he didn't have a piece design when Danny and I spoke to him. Do you want to tell us what he was maybe thinking when you guys talked?
You know, he was going to email us kind of a sketch. It kind of different, more vertical than the pieces. Paisley sent us a link to his sites. So he was going to send us an idea, but he really hasn't, and Dennis, correct me, but he really hadn't settled on an idea yet. He thought that we might walk around or send him some thoughts on possible locations. And then when he does come to town, I think Dennis, wasn't he talking about March, April? And
Yes. Mhm.
and then walk around to these sites and maybe find some other sites that might work for him. But rather than kind of describe what his piece is, more vertical. But he, like I said, he's going to send us some sketches. So I think that might be easier for people to interpret.
Did everybody get the links on your email?
The ones Kirsten just sent? Oh,
Yeah.
no, sorry, Paisley. Are you?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah.
I mean, he has
Yeah,
done some phenomenal work. I just,
Some of the stuff.
to
Yeah.
look at this, and then his thoughtfulness and his use of materials. He is an architect too by training, and amazing, and what he does with glass. He was awarded, and again, Dennis, help me. It was like $15,000 to put this sculpture together.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I think if we get something comparable to his other pieces, we will be very, very lucky. They're just so interesting.
His concern when we were talking to him was the glass and the metals being outside.
Mhm.
And so he brought up maybe if it was, or we really wanted it outside, maybe it's a temporary piece, or if we wanted it permanent, is there an indoor location? So that's maybe something for us all to be thinking about, like
Mhm.
and I don't know, Dennis, maybe you can speak more to what his glass and his metal materials would be like for the outdoors of Missoula, because I have no idea. And I know that I would personally like it to be a permanent piece versus a temporary one.
That's what
But if it's not
I
feasible.
said to
it's not
him as well.
feasible.
You guys, sorry, I've got a Charlie horse in my leg. I'm like going crazy here. But yeah, we talked about having something more permanent as well.
Dennis, what were your thoughts on his materials that he's using for Montana weather?
Well, I don't think there'd be any problem with the glass. He was using a dichloric type of reflective glass in
Right.
some of the pieces, and I don't see anything that really would affect it. He's from Denver, so he kind of experiences some of the same climate that we do. Ours is maybe a little more extreme, but I don't see any of the glass as being any problem at all.
Okay, cool. So I think our job right now is just to kind of support him, but also we as a group need to think about where we might want to see it, where
Right.
we think an art piece like this would be really beneficial, or just those thoughts. So anytime you guys get an idea, you're like, I think this would be a really cool location, then you just send out an email and we can bring it up to him when he gets here and take him there and show him.
So I have a question about that. Does that mean that the location of the art piece will need to be on publicly owned land, like city land, or?
Probably. Parks has already stated that they support the project and they are open to it being almost anywhere. Obviously, Donna has concerns, like with all sculptures or art pieces being put into parks for safety and durability, and size being an issue, but Parks is definitely supportive of the project. So that opens up a lot of different spaces for us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And just so you know, Joe, this is really cool because it's a completely funded project. We don't have to put any money into it. Dash is funding the whole thing. So really awesome. And they were telling Danny and I that they've been trying to do Missoula or projects in Missoula or Montana, and they just haven't been able to. And so they're stoked to be in with us.
So we're kind of just here to facilitate and help find a spot and make sure things go smoothly.
Yep. And approve the piece. Mike. Right, Mike. He is also open to doing educational talks with, they have to be 18 or older, but adult artists, and talking about his work, his installations, how he got involved with Dash, and then doing like community involvement around the piece. So once the piece has been installed, we could do like an unveiling, and then he could do a Q&A with public.
Has he gotten in touch with the ma'am? And I mean, if he's thinking maybe a temporary thing, the art park might be a good spot.
We haven't, we literally just started the conversation. So location, since we don't know what his piece he's thinking about, I don't know if we've even thought about like where we would want it. We were just more of like, what's your thought process? What's the piece going to be? And where are you? And since he's just at the beginning stages, I don't think there's a lot for us to work on with location, but that's a really good spot to think about. Kathy, you're on mute. You're still on mute.
Yeah, if it was temporary, sorry, I'm glad you didn't hear me then when I had a Charlie horse. I was like, oh, as a temporary, but you know, he was really excited about having a permanent piece as well when we talked. So
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool.
and what a great opportunity for us to have a relationship with the funding sources.
Yeah, I had never heard of Dash, but I think it's something for us to maybe investigate more of and create a good relationship so we could maybe put some Missoula artists in touch with them. So moving on to the Engel and Volkers, we had a meeting. It was Stony, Danny, myself, and Hallie was there as well. And we just kind of talked about initial jumping off points. And I think where we're at right now is we need to figure out funding and then also when the bricks on the side of the building are going to be cleaned, because that's going to be kind of the main when the project gets started. And then we're having another meeting tomorrow to kind of touch base and see where we're at. And I did email Jim to find out about fundraising. And what I was told was that we as the Public Art Committee should not do a GoFundMe page because we are a city entity, but they could do one and we could do, it could be like Engel and Volkers GoFundMe page for this mural and with support from the Public Art Committee, and we can help with doing ground asks for donations. And I think we settled on a price, and Danny, you can correct me if I'm wrong, at 30,000 for the mural. 30. Yeah. So that's kind of it. Not much to move past there. We can move on to the Mountain Line mural. So Stella, who's the artist at the Mountain Line, has selected to do this project. She submitted a design that we went and we looked at and we're giving her some critiques. And Paisley, you don't have that design, do you? Did she email it to you? And if so,
Yeah.
can you screen share it?
Give me just 1 minute and I'll pull that up for us.
So the Mountain Line that we had Corey, Shanti, Jennifer, and one other person, I forget who, in the meeting, and they looked over the design and they really liked it. And we gave her some critiques and some suggestions to come back with. So we'll show you the design and we'll tell you what the suggestions we gave. And if there's any more from you guys, we can also add those as well. But it was a really cool piece. I think they actually really enjoyed her conceptual design of it. And it's animals shaped like buses to show sustainability. And then she's got, they're in the clouds. It's hard to describe if I'm just telling you like that until you see it. It's very, you guys are gonna like it, I think.
Okay, sorry, it took me a second to find it, but I got it now. There we go.
So the first thing you see, this is what she has for the wheels. They're actually medicine wheels. And she is Native American, but I did not catch what tribe she was affiliated with. But she was saying how the medicine wheel is very symbolic for her tribe. And she thought it would be a good representation. She's Crow. Thank you, Danny. It was a good representation to put into the mural, which we thought was a fantastic idea. And then you can scroll down. This is the first animal that the mountain lion was they liked this design of the animals as buses. So she's got a badger and a buffalo. And then these are two animals shaped like buses that they were not interested in. They didn't feel that they had the same feel. And this is how she is proposing that it's going to look. They liked this color scheme. They're asking her to incorporate a little bit more of the mountain lion's colors for their business into it. And then at the base of the pillars, she's going to put mountains. And she's going to actually add another animal in the same style, but it's going to be a mountain lion to tie it all together.
He's going to do all this for $5,000?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So then go down. So this was another element that she had where she has the same design, but instead of it being in the clouds and having mountains, it would be earth with Native American plants incorporated into it. So she's just gonna do two mock-ups, one with the mountains and the clouds with the different colors, and then with these trees on the bottom and then the native plants. Her design is really cool and we think it's really solid. If you can go back up to the first one, Kirsten. This one I really liked because I feel like it's, it's in the air, it's clean air, it's talking about the sustainability that the mountain lion has been trying to be their message of alternative transportation. I mean, it transfers really well. And the one thing that they kept saying was that it makes the rest of the building look hideous because it's not as nice. Like her mural just makes the building so much nicer. But what are the committee's initial thoughts at looking at her piece?
I love it. I love Stella though. She's such a great artist and a nice person. I think she deserves more than $5,000 for that, for sure.
Well, I talked him up from 3, so.
Oh, I love this design. I think it is so cool and so well thought of. And so visually, it's so exciting. I think it's cool.
Yeah, she's got a great
Go
design.
down and see the others. Because you were saying she was thinking about putting something on the base, like the trees on the third one, or no?
The trees would be one, or mountains or something that they're asking for her to incorporate to see. Does anyone else have any thoughts or feelings about this piece? Dennis, Lisa, Heidi, Danny?
Is it possible? Is it possible for us to pay her some more?
I'd have to look at our budget. One of the parks, the West Side Park's getting dug up right now, so you would assume we get some percent for art from that. I'm waiting to hear back from Lee and Amy on it. So if we have money, I'd like to throw some towards the Engel and Volker's mural and the Indigenous mural project, depending on what it is. But I mean, say we get 5,000, we could throw 1,000 towards it, I think, at minimum. But we'd have to debate, we'd have to approve that as a group.
Or what about other incentives from the city or from Mountain Line? Could they give her a pass, like a year's pass?
That would actually be a great option. We're gonna
But
meet.
what, if buses are free, what, a pass to what?
Yeah, that's true.
Buses are free.
I was just gonna ask that. As like a pass to the city, like a key. Just
To the city.
An honorary key to the city.
Heidi,
I was
something?
I like the idea of the mountains better than the trees, is the only comment I have. I really love it, but I think, I feel like the mountains and then transitioning into the sky makes a little bit more sense to me. The trees seem like it's too far down on the, it's like trees, mountain, sky.
Well, they were just gonna do trees and then it's like earthy element versus like in the sky. So just to give two options of like, I feel like they're leaning towards the sky design as well. And I think they really liked that better. And she also made a point to mention that the colors that she chose were, and Danny, please step in at any time because I might say it wrong for what she had said, but they were healing or that they were supposed to bring about, not sustainability because that's what we've been talking about, but they had a very symbolic meaning to what the mountain lion was trying to represent within this design. Does that make sense? And sorry if I'm missing my mark.
No,
I can't read that. Sorry, Paisley.
So do you think they'll choose the first design or is your inclination to choose the first design with the red?
I got the feeling they liked the red. Paisley, what did you think?
Yeah, they absolutely liked the red color scheme. They sent basically her the Mountain Lion brand guide back just so she could incorporate basically Mountain Lion's colors are like a bunch of shades of blue and green. So they just wanted to see specific Mountain Lion blues incorporated in, but that they loved the red and they really loved the medicine wheel bus wheels and all of that. I too think I prefer the mountains and the clouds too, but I'm excited to see both.
Does anyone else have any comments before we move on?
Cool. Good job.
And Lisa, I'll definitely do some investigating to see if there's anything we can do. I mean, I'm hoping to hear back from Lee and Amy soon about that % for art. So if we do or don't, it'd just be nice to know.
Okay, what was the timeline on this about?
Oh yeah, so timeline, Shanti would really like it to be either weather dependent, completed before Earth Day or beginning on Earth Day. So it's just weather dependent because they're going to do an Earth Day celebration on that day. So it's either the kickoff to the mural or the completion of the mural.
Okay, I was thinking, and that's in May.
April 22nd.
Okay. Perhaps, something we could offer her that would be a benefit is we could do a talk or something if we're opened up by then. And we could hold it at Radius and have more of a workup and possibility of her, I don't know, we could just do a thing.
Okay, that would be great.
That would help
that
her.
would be very beneficial. We'll just keep everybody posted then on what's going, like
Yeah.
what we can do. But
Okay, she's in
I
our holiday.
tried really hard to get them to 7,000 on this piece.
Okay.
And I know Shanti went and asked them and they were only willing to do 5. And I think part of that was that the Mountain Lion, this is their first mural. I don't think that they were anticipating how good it would be and how wonderful it's going to make everything look because they're new to the art. And
Oh, you know what you could ask them is ask them now that they've seen it and are excited about it, ask if they would pay for an assistant for her.
that'd be a good option.
So it wouldn't really be asking them the same question, but it might get some more money out of them and help Stella.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We're meeting next week before the holiday, so I will ask. And the conversation we're having on Monday or Tuesday is about getting her payment. So definitely worth asking.
You know,
She was
this
in our
is-
holiday.
Oh, I was going to say this is way off, and I mean, they'd have to check with, well, the rules, regulations, and legalities and all of that. But that imagery is so graphic and so fun and so enticing. I could see them doing some sort of pieces. I hate to say t-shirts, but t-shirts or cards or something with that on, and would be able to pay her more for that design work and all of that too.
Yeah.
I love them. I mean, they are so cool.
She was an open air artist this year, and they used a t-shirt. They made a t-shirt of one of her pieces, and it has been selling well. And then that piece, which had a whole story behind it, came into, I think she gave us 5 pieces in our holiday show, and they all sold super fast. I mean, they were inexpensive, but for the last 2 weeks since we've sold out, people have been coming in and asking for them. So I think this is, you know, we should sign her up for a signal box and just see what else we can do to help her with her career.
We got a great design that we think would be an amazing signal box. The initial design she proposed were eggs and chickens, but they were like the best eggs and chickens you've ever seen, with like a red background. And Paisley and I were like, that would be an amazing, like that would just be a great signal box.
You know, we've talked before about doing an invitation of signal boxes instead of a call, and maybe with her would be one that we could try that out for. Just invite her, and makes it a lot easier to.
Well, and actually, well, it's not on the agenda, so we've been working more on invitation this time around because there's not many signal boxes left, folks. So
yeah, I think she'd be a
talk
good
about it maybe next meeting.
Yeah, I think she'd be a good option.
Agenda.
She's got her arts. I don't even know how to begin to describe how appealing it is to look at, and inviting her art is to just a wide variety of people. Like initially you see the designs and you're like, I don't know how it's going to look. And then she puts it together and you're just awed.
Yeah. I have another marketing thought idea for our next agenda, but Joe, this was a long time ago at the Art Museum. When I was there, we did wearable works of art, and maybe something for the next agenda to brainstorm on something like that and use it even as a fundraiser for us.
I think there's lots of opportunity to work with Stella. Lisa, I will let you know the conversation if they're open to getting an assistant or not, and if we should maybe think about doing a talk at your gallery if restrictions have lifted and things are a little easier, as an extra something to give to this muralist.
And if not a talk, like maybe we can arrange an interview with maybe one of her professors at the U or something like that. But
yeah, and I know that MCAT's always willing as well to do interviews with anybody and air them. So that's definitely an option.
This is a good project for us because I think, how can we give the artists that are working with us that we don't pay a whole lot? What are the other things that we can give them? And just kind of get a list of like, what are these things so we can help their career? Like, what are other boosts we can do to help them with name recognition, to help them with just stuff like that? It'd be nice to get a set of practices together for helping artists.
Like a toolkit, kind of.
Yeah, might think of that. Yeah, and some of them would be just possibilities, and we could kind of put it in front of the artist and say, which one of these appeal to you? I mean, other than cash, what else appeals to you?
I think that's a great idea. I think we should add that to our next agenda to maybe discuss a toolbox outline. So cleaning of the Van Buren mural, Kathy. You're on mute. You're still on mute.
Clicking the wrong unmute button. So talked with Steve at the Montana Department of Transportation. They are all for cleaning it, but they are now coordinating with the City of Missoula Street Department, Brian Hensel, on timing, and he understands that now it is winter. He also said that he would talk to him about a regular cleaning. So one of the things I don't remember is, and Steve Felix didn't remember either, is the highway department was supposed to pay for the protective coating of the piece. And can anybody confirm that they did that?
I will have to ask.
I mean,
Lee.
I can call Lillian and ask her, because I have talked to her about this too, and just kind of talked to her about the whole schedule and how it could be done, and if she would be available like the first time to make sure it was done correctly, or, you know, there's so much more than just that. So, and I didn't even ask her if it was, if they actually did pay additional monies for that and how it was protected. So
That money wouldn't go into our budget, I don't think, because that would be paid. I mean, it wouldn't get paid to us for them to protect it. They would just come in and protect it based out of their own budget.
You know, I don't know. I don't know how that part of the financial end worked, but I know that they were going to take on that responsibility. So I don't know. I can't remember if she invoiced them or whatever. But I know I'm pretty sure she would have put a protective coating on it. So what I just was worried about a street department crew who went at it a little too aggressively with a water truck. So just wanted to, Steve and I talked about the protective coating and he didn't know. So Lee, do you see her pretty regularly? Lillian, do you see Lily? I mean, is that something you could, okay, I can give her a call just to make sure. But in reality, it probably isn't, with winter, it's probably not going to happen till the spring unless we get some really warm weather again.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'll ask Lee because I have actually no idea. And
But
I'll see if there's anything that we can find out on the back end of financials, if we can see any of that, or if it's just going to be a conversation between Lillian and the Department of Transportation paying that clear coat. I mean, or if they can put me in touch with somebody at the Department of Transportation. I have no idea, but we'll find out.
Well, yeah, and Lillian would know. I know that was part of that early thing. So it's just that the city has taken over maintenance now.
Okay.
And
So the rattlesnake sound wall. So this, I was approached by a local rattlesnake resident, and they were saying that the back of the sound wall that faces the rattlesnake, there's nothing on it. It's not appealing to look at. And they were wondering if they could put art on there. I said, let's see if there's any interest in the neighborhoods to see if they want art on there first. She went around and asked neighbors, and there's a lot of interest. So I said the next part would be for me to ask MDT because they own the wall. So that's where we're at with that, is just seeing if they even want art on there. But the concerns that the neighborhood has recently brought to me is that they feel like maybe it's not physically feasible to put a mural on there because of how the wall is structured and the ground. I also told them that financing is going to be something that, they might have to think about because there's no way we could finance that. And she said that she would be happy to do a fundraising effort for it. So right now we're just seeing if MDT is even interested, and we'll go from there. But that's about it. Does anyone have any announcement, news, or upcoming events? Nope. All right. Well, we're having a quick meeting today because holidays are fast approaching and COVID has made things the way they are. But I hope everybody has a really great holiday and enjoys themselves the next 2 weeks. And we'll see you guys next year, 2021.
I'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow, Courtney.
Lovely couple of weeks. and
Danny?
Happy New Year,
I'll see you
everybody.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're gonna see me. We have a meeting
Yes, we'll
tomorrow.
all talk tomorrow.
We have a meeting. That's great. I won't forget.
Nice, Joe.
Hey, Courtney, is there a call-in number tomorrow or just the,
Just the number, because I don't pay for Zoom or anything. I just
okay.
do we're gonna get kicked out at 10:30.
Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna sign in from my phone then, so
That's fine.
I can.
But yeah, we're just gonna do the 10:30 or done.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
Lillian Nelson is calling me now. I'll give you all an update later.
All right, well, have a great holiday, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you in 2021 / Danny and everybody else tomorrow.
You're so funny. We, I was reporting, I'm on the Public Art Committee and I can't, apparently,